Welcome to On Target Radio, Segment 6, where just because a show ends doesn't mean the conversation stops. Now here's your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to Segment 6, and our guest this evening, actually this is the first time we've actually had a guest on it.
Segment 6, yeah.
That's right. The Reverend Dr. Eric Wallace is with us, and we were talking on the show about racial divide and can we heal it, and the conference you have coming up, and I just thought that it was a very interesting topic. We got a lot of phone calls. It was well received, and so we're going to carry it on for another few minutes.
So there's really no nice way to ask this question.
That's a bad start. I can see this already.
Let me get a drink of
Yeah.
water.
Get ready. We're going to be, On Target Radio is going to be there. We're going to bring our trade show booth, and are we going to be the only white people there?
Oh, no.
Eric will be there. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, this isn't a black event. Matter of fact, we were gonna actually on the advertising we say this is for just black pro-lifers. This is for anybody who's pro-life and pro-family. The Illinois Right to Life has bought a booth and a table.
Okay.
For a table of 10. Bremen Township Republican Party has bought a table. Will County people are supposedly buying a table. Kankakee has bought a table. My hope is that we have a good mix, because what I'd like to see one day is a big group of conservatives that is so well mixed that they can't laugh at us anymore. They laugh at us when we have meetings and we come together because there's a black person sprinkled here and there. What I want to see is a good mix of black and white coming together to talk about this issue, because a lot of times we act as though we don't care about it, or we're indifferent to the fact that black on black crime, the black abortion rate, but we need, and it's on both sides, because sometimes you have a lot of black conservatives come to a certain event, and I've been told that the March for Life in Washington D.C. sometimes there aren't a whole lot of black participation, and there's one way to solve that, and one of is having some black people at the table sitting down to help plan the event, to make sure that we're part of the planning, and we can. But at this, no, I am hoping and praying that people are coming to this who just care about life and who care about people, no matter what color they are. And when we can start talking in those terms, and I think it helps starting to bring people together. There'll be a lot of church folks there, and our organization wears our Christianity on our sleeve. We're not afraid. We're not trying to be politically correct. We're trying to be biblically correct. So,
it's a good motto.
If I get up there and I say something that they don't like, well,
Something you just said though that bothers me. Do you actually feel like people laugh at you?
No, people laugh at us, the conservatives. I mean, people laugh at the Republican Party when they have their debates or they have some kind of thing going on, and they scan the audience, and the audience is 99.9% white.
Oh, I see.
And the question is, where are the black people?
In Will County, when you were there, and Paul was there, and Raquel was there, I thought that was a really good meeting. I enjoyed it.
No, I don't think conservatives laugh. The liberals laugh at us.
Oh, well, they laugh at everything because they're idiots.
Right.
Well, and the other thing they say, when we have like a presidential nominee or whatever, they say, oh, who's the next old white dude in line,
And when it isn't an old white dude, like Condoleezza Rice,
or Sarah Palin,
she's not black enough.
They rip them limb from limb.
Yeah, exactly. Which, that's the thing that really bothers me more than anything. They say one thing, oh, blacks don't have enough opportunity. And we go, I really like Condoleezza Rice. Well, she doesn't count. Why doesn't she count?
I'm going to be politically incorrect for a second.
Oh, that's shocking.
Uh-oh.
That's shocking.
The 20-year-old's going to
What?
be incorrect. But it's funny, because going off of what you said, you look at the candidates who are running now, the Democrats have a washed-up white lady, an old crazy white guy, and I believe they have another crazy white guy, correct?
Who's the new white
It's
guy?
Bernie Sanders, and
Yeah.
they got that old mayor from Baltimore, or whatever his name
I
is.
didn't know he was running.
They have 3 people so far, old white lady, old white dude, old white
They
dude.
got another one, Webb, who used to be the senator, I think, from Virginia. Can't think of his first name. His last name was Webb.
Is he an old white guy? See? And then you look at the
The
conservative.
tables
And the
have
other one's
turned.
O'Malley.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of,
Martin.
O'Malley.
Is it Martin O'Malley?
Yes. And then you look at the conservatives. We have Carly Fiorina, young white lady. We have Ben Carson, moderately aged black guy.
Careful.
I'll take age out of the equation. Black guy. You have Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. So you want to have this
Bobby
conversation?
Jindal.
Bobby Jindal.
Yeah,
You want to have this conversation? We will have this conversation.
Actually,
Yeah.
do we have a white guy running? I don't think so.
Trump.
Scott Walker's white.
Scott
Oh, that's
Walker,
true.
but
Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush
Jeb
is
Bush.
white.
Jeb Bush is a joke.
Jeb Bush is not really white. He's sort of white.
No, he's
But,
He's very because he's married to a
He's
Hispanic
white.
woman. He's very Hispanic,
Well, but
which is fine.
he's
we
pro
don't-
Hispanic, but it doesn't make him Hispanic.
No.
Jeb Bush would be our old white guy, but if
Yeah.
you look at the bulk of the party, it's young, it's diverse, it's basically
I'm
what the
glad you
Democrats.
brought that up. I didn't even
What's that?
know about how diverse
It is
the
though.
field
And the
is.
It
people who are
is.
saying you should be
Absolutely, yeah.
diverse aren't.
Right.
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
and it's like the Democrat Party has just moved everybody aside and said it's Hillary's turn.
And that I've heard that very phrase
Oh,
used.
yeah.
It's Hillary's turn. Why is it Hillary's
I
turn?
hope Bernie Sanders gets
Right.
that nomination. I do. I
do
really
because
do.
They'll tank him.
Because I will laugh my behind off if she loses that election.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would
And
be
it's
really-
possible because,
It is, it's
because
very
nobody
possible.
thought Obama was going to do what he did the first time
Yeah.
he won.
That's
Nobody,
true.
nobody gave him a chance
She's
to actually
beatable
win.
because he beat her.
I read, and I didn't fact check, but I found it interesting, that Hillary Clinton has more baggage than any presidential candidate ever. I mean, you just look at the
Yeah.
list of
She
stuff
carries it
that we
under her
know is
eyes.
true. That we know is true. Okay, Benghazi, we just this long list. How many emails did she just disappeared? You know, it's just
Well, and how many people have disappeared? I mean, the
well,
Clintons.
yeah.
The
Vince
Clintons.
Foster was number one, and it's gone
Right. The
since then.
Clintons allegedly have made a number of people go away.
Well, you know,
Over
what
the
can you say?
years.
Yeah.
Well, it's basic. If Clinton or Bush gets elected, it's basically going to what this country was supposed to oppose. Because you have political families now.
Dynasty.
Dynasties,
Exactly.
right,
You have
exactly.
dynasties.
They're like
Bush,
kings.
you have the dad and his two sons that would have gotten
Right.
worst
Well,
case
I mean,
scenario.
we've had it before though. We had the
We have,
Absolutely.
but
the Adams.
John Quincy
John
and
Quincy and his
and,
was it his son
I'm forgetting who's John.
John Adams and then
Yeah,
John Quincy.
John
Yeah.
Quincy. Yeah, they both. Yeah.
And we had a couple others who were related.
I don't have an
The
issue.
Roosevelts. The Roosevelts were
well,
cousins.
cousins, I think. Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I don't have an issue with a father and a son. My issue is, are they doing anything?
yeah.
Whether they're related or not, I don't care.
Right.
And just like I really don't, and I don't mean to be offensive, but if guy's gay, I don't care. What bothers me, and we've talked about this, is there's these parades and there's this in your face. You can't believe what you believe. Okay, if I'm transgender or whatever, if I'm gay or if I'm this or I'm that, it's not enough that people say, you know what, fine, go and be who you are. They won't settle for
Right.
that. They have to. You have to be wrong. They're people who own the cake shop. Did you hear about this? They not only they go out of business, they're talking $135,000 fine because they wouldn't make a wedding cake for somebody.
Yeah, it's freedom right there.
That's just wrong.
Lost
That's just
freedom.
wrong.
And then they try to put a gag order on them.
Oh, and that's the other thing. You're
Right.
right.
Shut
They're not allowed to
Yeah.
even talk about it.
So
Right.
let's just completely chop out the First Amendment. No more freedom of religion. No more freedom of speech.
That's one thing I was actually thinking of having you at the table is why is it so wrong to believe in something? And it doesn't have to be Christianity for that matter.
Right.
It's
Could
just,
be anything.
if you're not agnostic or atheist, supposedly far left, believe in all the transgender
Or
thing
Muslim.
and all that.
Muslim's good.
Yeah, but if you're not atheist, agnostic, or Muslim, you're in the wrong. It's like, why? I'm not hurting you. Why are you out to destroy what I'm thinking? Like,
Somebody put a thing on my Facebook page and it said, you can do anything you want in this country as long as you're not white, middle class, and Christian.
it's
I'm
true.
straight.
The moment
Straight.
you open
I'm
your
sorry,
mouth, you're
straight,
wrong.
yeah. I don't know how that happened. I just don't know how that came about. Other than, I really believe that this president has gone out of his way to intentionally.
Yeah, and that's how it
Split-
happened. Is
split people
Obama figured out if he can divide us and pit us against each other, it's like a dog fight.
But that-
You
Right.
you starve the dogs and you make them kill each other, so you don't have to do
You
it.
just understand where he came from, though. This is Chicago-style politics. You don't have to negotiate with people. What you do is you strong-arm them.
Right. But you know what? Look at where it's ending up. We have right now, unquestionably, people, these ISIS types, they're here. There's no question about it. They've thwarted 60 plots already. But we have this guy. Now look what this administration is doing. Oh, he was a gun nut. Oh, he was this, he was that. His Facebook page, he talks about being a sympathizer of ISIS. He talks about what he's going to, the type of stuff he wants to do. How much more can you lay out? And they're going, oh, well, no, he's not. There's no relation to that and terrorism.
Yeah, exactly. Turning an eye
That's
and
crazy.
changing the story.
Yeah,
That's what's happened.
They do not want anyone to link Muslim and terrorists.
And I don't know what's happening is blacks don't trust whites now, this and that. And we have a common enemy entering this country.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't pull together as a people, which we've always done in the past, you know, there's always been disagreements. When my dad came to this country in 1911 or whatever, somewhere in there were signs on buildings, you know, no Dagos, WAPs, no jobs for WAPs. But when the war came out, First World War, Second World War, even Korea, Vietnam, that began the debacle, and things started going downhill after that. And now, I don't know that we can pull together.
Have you seen where there's a couple of people got together and actually went to the recruiting stations and recruiting places and stood outside guard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the racial diversification is there, but there were men and women, at least from my pictures I saw.
Yeah.
That's all I can say at this point. But I'm sure that's not the only. There's like one or two of them that I saw, but there may be more out there.
It was cool to see them in Virginia, because in Virginia, I believe they have
open carry.
Open carry. This
Yeah.
guy was
Yeah,
carrying
like
his-
here.
Yeah, one picture they had the
Concealed
woman
carry.
in the middle. She was open.
We're going to get
Right.
open carry in Illinois
We
in
need
about
to.
400 years.
I think the one good thing that's come out of that, you know, the shooting of the Marines and the sailor is that it looks like they're gonna, you know, probably overturn that Clinton era edict that no carrying on military installations.
Which is
So
just absurd,
Which is
because
stupid.
they're all active duty.
it's
Of
the
course
armed
it's absurd.
forces.
It's
About
absolutely
that too,
absurd.
because I recently visited one of the military installations not too long ago, and I'd say what they have, you know, armed like military police, so there are some
Right,
armed
at the
people
gate.
at the
Yeah,
gate, but
sure.
they're not everywhere. And I guess from my understanding, certain areas, certain buildings have like armories built into them where they have to go under lock and key and get everything out. So when seconds count, you're in trouble, you know, pretty much.
Right.
But you look at the security, and I'm like, how easy it would be to pass through the gate with a firearm and just blow by them. I just show them the ID, okay, go ahead, you know, whatever, and get in. And it's ridiculous. Now, you can, and it may not be at every single military installation, obviously, but the one I visited, I was told that if I wanted to bring a firearm on, you could do that, but you have to notify them and have it unloaded and have, you know, the case open and everything, and go to check in and do a background check and all that stuff.
Because some of those places have hunting.
Right, they
Yeah.
do. In fact, the one I went to had an actual like a range, like
Yeah.
trap shooting and things like that there too. So yeah, absolutely.
I guess my concern is I really like what you're trying to do with the conference, because I think it's a really good thing. Maybe I'm too cynical. I don't know that.
You're an old white guy. What kind
And it's my fault. I did it all. Yeah. But I just don't know that it can be repaired. I really don't.
Well, see, that's why I'm the minister.
And I'm not.
And we've got to be hopeful that there's a possibility for change. And I mean substantive change. I'm not talking about that stuff that Obama likes to talk about. I mean, real maybe I should use other words, transformation. There can be transformation, you know, if we try. I mean, if it's and it's not just. I'm kind of arguing myself as I
Are you trying to
as I
convince
talk this
yourself,
out.
or are you trying to convince
Well,
me?
I mean, there's, you know, part of our theology is that there is what's called sin. That people are born with sin. We're natural born liars. We come out of our mother's womb.
Well, we're totally self-centered.
The minute we're able to talk,
Yeah.
you know, we'll lie. We're selfish,
Yeah.
self-centered, and so one of the ways of overcoming that is that according to our theology is that Jesus died for our sins. We accept Christ as Savior, and then it starts the transformation, becoming like Him. It's not something that happens instantaneously, but we start becoming like Him, and it means learning to be selfless. And one of the ways you really understand that is when you get married. You got to learn how to be selfless, or if you have family members, you know, learning to take care of. I'm at a point now where I'm taking care of my mom and dad. helping to take care of them, because my dad just turned 90 today, actually, and my mom's 84. And so, you know, I got to help them with their bills. So the roles are reversed now. Where they used to take care of me, I'm now taking care of my parents. And that takes a certain amount of selflessness on my part and my wife's part. And I'll be honest, sometimes I don't want to do it. But
That's human nature.
I have to do it. Just like when taking care of my kids. Sometimes I didn't want to do it, but you do it because it falls in your lap. And this is what you do as a son who loves his mother and father. If we love our community, if we love the people around us, if we want to have a better community, because we can easily say that I don't care about what's happening with black on black crime. It's not in my neighborhood, who cares? But it is coming to your neighborhood. It affects you economically. It affects you. In fact, I had an article talking about in Detroit where there are these gangs that were going around attacking couples now. They would pull out a gun, pull them into the alley, and the guys would rape the wife or the girlfriend while they held the man down and had him watch. Now, can you think of anything more barbaric than that? I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, as long as if we don't do anything about this kind of stuff, it's just going to continue to get worse. So it's incumbent upon us, as I said, having policies that help promote families, that help families stay together, that help families be able to own businesses or build businesses, to build stuff economically. It makes sense, because eventually if we don't do it, these families that fall apart, these kids will become juvenile delinquents, they'll become wards of the state, basically, and they just suck us dry, and our whole society falls apart.
One of the more interesting comments I've ever heard made, and I've never thought, when I heard it, it was obvious, but that it never occurred to me is what I found interesting. There's a sort of de-Christianizing of the country going on. It's no longer, you know, not only are we not considered a Judeo-Christian culture by some, it's actually being vilified, if you are.
Right.
Now, the thing that was interesting is this attempt to wash society of religion. And the comment that was made is, you don't understand the true impact if you do that, because there's no way you can control a country other than they believe in a bigger thing, and that's why they do the right thing.
Right.
You can't have a cop on every corner. You can't possibly police all the things that could go wrong. The public has to be bought into the system that this is right and this is wrong. And that's what makes it work. And when you do away with that, you got anarchy.
It was one of the founding fathers, I want to say it was John Adams, who said that democracy is inadequate for governing anything but moral people.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly
and
right.
That's a sort of a modern
Once you take that
interpretation
away,
of that.
the Ten Commandments, let's face it, I don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or whatever. The one thing that this country has always been built on, the premise of the legal system, and the Ten Commandments. I mean, that's what we followed. And you see that governor, I forget, where was it? Anyway,
Alabama?
Was it where their Supreme Court said,
Oklahoma. They
Oklahoma,
stripped the
you will take the Ten
Commandments
Commandments out? And
Yeah.
she goes, no, we won't. We're not going to do it. Well, here's the interesting thing. It's like making federal law, okay? From now on, you have to do this. Wait a minute. Who exactly is going to enforce that? Because the feds can't. They don't have the manpower to do it. So if the local sheriff's department says, we're not going to do it, as more and more of them are doing, you can pass all the laws you want. That's why I want to have Paul Kopis on next week. He retired, you know Paul.
Yeah.
He retired as Will County Sheriff. And I want to talk about that next week. I want to just say, you know, what is the read that you get from sheriffs around the country? You've heard of Oath Keepers? Oath Keepers is an organization, people who've taken the oath, military, law enforcement, anyone who's taken the oath. So I've done Army, Navy, Civil Air Patrol, Will County Sheriff's Department, Will County, 5 times. Nobody has ever said, you're done now, the oath is canceled. And so Oath Keepers is a group that you voluntarily sign up for, and you say, I will not infringe upon the Constitution. Whether I'm a cop, I'm in the military, I will not obey an order that infringes the Constitution. And it's kind of a growing movement of people who are saying that.
Dude, that's
I need to
supposed
look at
to.
it. Well,
That's just a,
No one's supposed
I
to.
took
That's-
oath as an Army and as a police officer many years ago.
you should join Oath Keepers.
Yeah.
It's symbolism, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it does say,
Good symbolism.
I'm simply not going to do that.
It's
I'm
sort of
going
a
to-
loose organization.
Yeah, very, very loose organization. It's
But
very-
you tapped into something. This is a post-Christian society now, where the leaders of our country right now are either Christian in name only,
They're Christian
Or-
for votes.
or absolutely Christians for votes,
Yep.
but they don't live any of it out,
Yeah.
and they don't care. And one of the things I wrote down a piece of paper. I don't know how enlightening it is, but my thought was, if you don't care about what's written in the biblical as a Christian, as a biblical text, then you won't care about what's written in the Constitution either.
Right.
Right.
If the higher power doesn't do it, the lower power is certainly not going to do it.
And that's a lot of people sitting on the bench, a lot of folks running for office on the left. It's something they don't care. It's if it doesn't match up with my worldview.
Right. And they're willing to lie about it.
Because hold on. Understand this. I won't say dig this.
Dig this.
That's
I'm
okay.
going back. I'm dating myself. Barack Obama, when there was law called DOMA, they wouldn't enforce it because they didn't like the law.
Which was it?
DOMA,
Defensive Marriage.
Defensive Marriage
Oh,
Act.
Defense of Marriage Act. Yeah,
They
yeah.
thought it was bad law, so they weren't
Yeah.
going to enforce
Yeah.
it, along with some other laws they didn't like. But now that homosexual marriage is the law, they're going to enforce that.
Whole different-
It's the law, so you need to abide by that.
Right.
But if they didn't like it,
Well, it's the same thing like Obamacare. They're like, oh, that's the law. Just deal with it. Stop trying to repeal it. And
Yeah.
all the Republicans are like, no.
Yeah. The interesting thing between Democrats and Republicans is, and Richard Nixon is a classic example. He broke the law, got caught. He was ashamed of it. He resigned. He was ashamed. He left office in dishonor, and you could see it in his face when he got on that helicopter and gave that last hurrah, that he was humiliated. Liberals aren't humiliated. They get caught and they
No
just
shame.
ignore it and go right on ahead.
there's no shame.
There's no shame at all. There really isn't. And it's like, they're sociopaths. They really are. And the other thing is, and of course, there are people that meet all kinds of requirements in this thing, but generally speaking, Republicans have this naive belief that if you just tell people the facts, no, here's the
You'll
facts,
win.
then logic must win out. And of course, it has no bearing whatsoever on liberalism. They just make stuff up.
They've become some of the best liars. That's not probably an oxymoron, but they.
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
It's a very
So-
good one.
Look in the camera and tell people how they can go to the conference coming up.
Which camera? This one or the top?
Both of them.
Either one,
Both of
whatever
them.
direction.
Wow.
How do they get
My eyes that way? Is that?
How do they get a hold of you and get tickets?
Well, you go to our website, freedomsjournalinstitute.org. Freedoms with an S. freedomsjournalinstitute.org. It'll be there with the agenda. Going under the events tab. Actually, there's 2 events on there, but the Rise Initiative is on there. There's also a picture of Huckabee and Dr. Carson there. If you see that, when you go to the home page, you can click on that. That'll take you to the event page as well. It'll tell you how much it is, $80, $750 for a table of 10, which is the best buy. If you can get 10 other people to join with you to buy a table. But the last day to register is this coming Friday, the 24th. We have to have a head count because we're feeding people lunch. So you're getting to have lunch. You can tell people you're having lunch with a couple of presidential candidates.
And David and Gretchen from Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. David and Gretchen on Target Radio. Are you going to let these 2
Yeah.
come as well? Is that?
I don't know.
So go ahead and sign up. You need to do it before by the 24th. And then, the 24th is this coming Friday, and then a week from that Friday will be the event. It actually starts at 9. You probably need to come at 8 or 8:30 to get your get a name tag, check in, and find out what table you're going to be assigned to. And we're going to start promptly at 9 o'clock.
Are we actually going to be sitting with it? No, never mind.
Don't answer.
Probably not, yeah.
You'll be restricted to your booth way in the back in the
You'll be
corner
restricted-
somewhere.
you'll be
Behind the
restricted
curtain.
to your white booth.
You're the white booth, yes, the white section, yeah, the back of the hall.
Whites only.
We solved all the problems of the Great Divide in this, I don't know how long we ran this one.
I don't know, I wasn't watching.
We solved all the problems, and we'll be back next week with more On Target Radio.